Hello, everyone. I'm Sean.
This is Hoon.
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again from their series review. This time we're covering the third episode of Dragon Ball Daima.
Which is Daima. Dragon Ball
cleverly titled Daima.
Yes.
Which just means big evil.
Big evil, yes.
I guess it's just the name for the demon realm or whatever. So
that actually makes sense because we got a lot of lore for the demon realm from this episode.
Yes. Most of this episode is lore. There's only like 4 things that happen. So basically, I guess I'll do a quick run through of the plot and then we can talk about like different points, I guess. Mm-hmm. So the episode begins with Goku, Kaioshin, and Glorio, and they're in Glorio's ship and they're going to go to the demon realm. We find out that in order to go to the demon realm, you have to go through this giant fish called Warp Sama.
Yeah.
Which we already knew this, but it's the first time Goku and Shin have encountered it.
Yeah.
Goku pisses them off.
Yeah.
Yes. Goku decides to call him a big goldfish, and that makes him mad.
Yeah.
And in order to get through, apparently you have to have a special clearance. You have to know a pin number, and everyone has to be... Everyone has to be a demon too.
Yeah, because you have to look at your ears. You got to look at your ears.
Yeah. So Shin does some kind of magic and like pulls Goku's ears out to make him look like a demon.
Yeah.
And then they're accepted into the demon realm. And then we find out that the demon realm is split into 3 demon worlds. So yeah, the first world, which is like royalty, palace members only.
Yeah.
Second world is kind of like an upper class society. That's where Shin's from and his people, which we find out his race is called the Glins, which is something new.
Yeah.
They used to just be called core persons in the old
gave a name for once.
Yeah. Now a species actually has a name. And then the third world, which is where they go, because that's the only one Glorio has access to, is basically this like the country bumpkin world.
Yeah, it's the country full of scum and villainy, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like the Mos Eisley world.
Yeah. So Glorio is an interesting character. He's definitely hiding something because he says he's a third world inhabitant, but he has, in order to use the Warp Sama at all, you have to be first or second world only.
Yeah.
And then Shin's like, so how do you have access? And he's like, because I do work in the first world.
Yes.
And then Shin's like, what kind of work? And he just says this and that.
This and that.
Various tasks.
Various tasks. Pretty
He's
much.
the Jordan Shalansky of the demon world.
Yes.
So anyway, they go through, they make it to the third world because it's the only one they have access to. I don't know how they plan to get to the second or first world yet, but
yeah,
I guess they're going to meet with some guy called King Kaden or something, who's, I guess, the employer of Glorio.
Yeah, I think he says he's the employer of him. That's how they kind of knows him.
Must be a different king. King Goma is the villain, so this is some other character we haven't come across yet.
Yeah.
And so they go to an inn, and Glorio basically threatens the guy that owns the place to lower the prices.
Yeah, I know, because he's like, it's 50,000 whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, my gun says otherwise.
Like, basically.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to sleep and then wake up next day and then continue on their journey. But Goku's hungry. It's a big surprise.
Goku wants food.
Yeah. So they have to go to a tavern or a bar or whatever across the street.
They bring young kids to a bar.
Yeah, bring little kids at a bar and he can eat all the hamburgers.
And he's like, what are these hamburgers made of? Don't ask.
Don't ask. Not like Goku cares. Like,
yeah, Goku would just eat whatever.
Goku's just eating every animal in the forest when he's a child. So, like, I don't think it really matters. But anyway, Goku says that, he already ate, so he's probably not that hungry, so he'll only need 5.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there eating these giant hamburgers.
The hamburgers look like right now there's a promotional deal at Burger King called the Addams Family Burger. It looks like that.
Oh yeah, with the black bun or whatever.
Yeah, the black bun. It looks like that.
He's getting those Addams Family burgers.
Yeah.
So that's what Goku's eating. And of course, basically just Goku's existence causes a fight because he's not from the demon realm and he's rude as hell.
Yeah, he's like, you're a goldfish, you're ugly.
Yeah. I mean, he was farting the entire time.
Yeah, he farted in like the plane. He's like a menace to society at this point.
He's always been a menace, but because the planet apparently smells bad because there's these gases that are coming out of the volcanoes,
it's like spewing volcanic like sulfuric gas or something.
Sulfuric gases, which apparently totally fine.
Yeah, breathe it in. Like, oh,
according to Glorio, it's totally safe.
He's like, it's safe. It just causes brain damage.
Yeah. And then Goku's just in the plane farting away the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's good times. So anyway, back at the tavern, they start a big fight. And then the rest of the episode is basically just Goku beating the crap out of Glorio and Goku just beating the crap out of a bunch of guys.
Here. This is where the action first starts.
Right.
Which the animation for the action was pretty good.
Right. The animation's really solid. Like I said, it looks like the Broly movie, more or less. Yeah. Which I think it employed pretty much the same animators, at least some of them.
Yeah.
It's basically the Broly movie, but with a better art style, I think. Because the Broly movie intentionally used sort of a simplistic art style, trying to give an 80s look to the anime. And then this one uses a more sophisticated art, but the same animation.
Yeah.
So like, it looks great.
It looks like Dragon Ball, the first Dragon Ball, but like upscaled. It looks like a remaster
right.
of Dragon Ball. Like
a 4K remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. Like as far as the series goes, this might be the best looking Dragon Ball's ever been. Like it's really nice.
You won't see two left hands in this one, I don't think. We haven't seen it yet. Yeah. It's been episode 3, so
unless we take an Uzumaki turn and
unless it goes downhill after like this.
Massive dip in quality halfway through the show. But as it stands now, it's really good.
Yeah.
And so Goku beats up all these guys pretty easily. They go back to the inn, they spend the night, and then they get up in the morning, they go to the plane, but then they realize there's a problem. The plane is gone.
Yeah.
And one of the thugs left his axe behind.
And like a warning or something. It doesn't exactly doesn't say what it says written on there. It doesn't say
it didn't say what was on the note yet. But yeah, it's written in some goofy version of katakana. It almost looks like Hylian.
Yeah, that does have that same look to it.
But it was Link stole their ship.
Yes.
So that's basically the plot for episode 3.
Yeah.
The only other things to talk about really is a whole bunch of lore stuff.
Yeah, they add quite a bit of lore. I like how they do. I think that this episode they're trying to do everything they possibly can to keep these power levels like in check because we talk about the volcanoes and the gas. The gas is apparently making the air like heavier. It's like Goku mentioned. He's like the air feels heavy here, and it's like harder to actually do punches and stuff because like kind of slow. Or like there's like bandits that showed up and they're shooting arrows and apparently like really slow arrows. They don't even look like normal arrows, but they're like orcs or something. I don't know what they were, but they were
they look like goblins or orcs or something. That's another thing too. This show has a very JRPG fantasy feel to it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's almost like Dragon Ball meets Dragon Quest or something.
Yeah, because
especially this episode. Yeah, it's like you had to stop at the inn and then go to the tavern.
Yeah, and then get information. I guess.
Yeah,
because like all the demon guys are like, they look like traditional like monsters or something. They look like some sort of monsters you see from like a D&D novel or something.
Right.
As like goblin or orc or I don't know, chud or something. I don't know.
There's a lot of weird like lizard monsters,
lizard or whatever. That's kind of what it looks like.
Some of the guys almost look like Piccolo's henchmen.
Yeah, they do actually.
Like Tambourine or whatever had the little tiny wings and the big body. That's what these guys look like.
They do have that same look to them. So
they're probably similar species. Now that Namekians apparently are from the demon realm again.
Yeah, they remembered that they were on the demon realm. So
yeah, that's back to original.
A long time ago, didn't we? Yes, you did.
And then the only thing they're setting up basically is they have to continue going on a quest to get their plane back or whatever.
Yeah.
Now the other characters are stuck on Earth because they have to know they're gonna have to figure out a way to disguise themselves as demons.
Yeah, which they don't know that at this point because they know because they just did it.
Yeah.
But Bulma won't know, like Piccolo will know. Unless it has something to do with Piccolo because Piccolo Daimyo was a thing at one point.
He might know. I don't know.
Like whatever it's like, oh, you look like Piccolo Daimyo or something. I wonder if it's gonna do something along those lines.
Yeah, that maybe it'll be like one of those deals where he's giving them the fish is giving them a rough time, and then he sees Piccolo and he's like, "My lord, I apologize." Yeah. Some crap like that.
Yeah, maybe. That could be. It's like come to in my stomach or whatever. Like let me eat you.
Come into my stomach. Yeah, because apparently you go into their mouth and then they turn around and you come out their back end.
Yeah.
Which we had a comment in one of our videos asking how they travel from one universe to another, and I was like, you don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
Proven right in this video. But
this
since
is
any swallowed,
Vor. It's like Vor is like
yeah.
This is Vor's
pretty much. Because you're getting swallowed by a giant fish. So how do you get out of the fish? It's like, well,
there's one way.
There's one way out. But yeah, and you made a mention it looked like Guardians of the Galaxy. The way thing.
It's like because Toriyama used to like take stuff from movies and stuff you watched. It's like one of them's got to be the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie, or maybe second or third movie.
Second one's the one that does the crazy warp thing.
Yeah, because they're going the warps between the thing, and it's like their faces all change and everything. And kind of almost it's very similar to that.
It was similar. It was like between that and the Bifrost in Thor.
Yeah.
It does have that kind of that warp style because it has like the beam of light going streaking past.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. I like that the Kais have a species name. We have more information about where they come from.
Yeah.
In the old Daizenshu or whatever guidebooks, I think they showed that his species actually comes from a tree. So I wonder if they're going to actually continue that lore or if they're going to give him some other origin.
Yeah. I'm assuming so that he's like in the second world or whatever. Is that what it was? Okay. So because like way they have it separate, there's another lore bit I don't think we went through, but there's a hole in the ground between the worlds, and that used to be that used to be the way to go between the demon worlds, but something must have happened because it's like a light barrier that separates them between. So I wonder they might go through it or something like that. Maybe they have it to where someone in the second realm or something did something to this group or something like that. I wonder. There's probably a reason why everything's all separated.
Yeah, because I don't know how they're supposed to get into the first world.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to have to do something to take down that barrier to get to the second world, and then they have to do something in the second world to take down the barrier to get to the first world.
Yeah.
Which is even more RPG stuff.
Because that's definitely like RPG quest lines here.
Various quests in order to break the barrier so you can go to the next portion of the game or whatever. Like that's probably what they're going to do.
They're trying to go find the king or whatever because the king is whatever. What's his name? I don't even know his name. The king that they're supposed to talk to.
Yeah, King Codden or something.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're going to explain why the barrier is even up because this doesn't make sense that it was there at one point and then they just erected a barrier.
Well, something happened. Either some conflict happened or you had some tyrant come in power and just block it off or something.
Or maybe it has something to do with that evil eye or whatever that thing was from the first
it could be too. They did mention that. And then there's a giant statue of Deborah that's done in the same way as the Mr. Satan with the...
Yeah, I mean, Deborah is just Mr. Satan in the world.
Of that world, yeah, maybe.
He's like the Mr.
He's
Satan.
He either actually was like well liked by his subjects, or it's like a Mr. Satan type thing.
Unless it's like he actually is Mr. Satan. He's like he can be considered Mr. Satan, Demon World.
He's true Mr. Satan.
Yeah. Because he even does like the little like peace sign.
Yeah, he's doing the peace sign thing, and he's a giant statue of him.
Yeah.
Which maybe he wasn't such a bad guy. We don't know because he was controlled by Bobbity.
That could be it, because it seems like people know about Deborah. Like people were kind of interested in Deborah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he did have that Majin mark on his forehead.
Yeah,
which we know when he took over Vegeta, it made him evil again. So like maybe Deborah really wasn't a bad guy, and then Bobbity like controlled him and turned him into a villain kind of thing.
That probably. I wonder if that might be a plot point. Probably because we don't really. Because I don't think it didn't have the Majin sign on that statue anywhere. I don't think.
No,
it was just like a normal guy.
Right. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they
third world or whatever, third world of the demon realm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do like what they're doing here quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like I think this show's pretty good.
Yeah, because like the area looks like the first Dragon Ball for sure. Like it has a very Dragon Ball 1 look. Like Dragon Ball.
Well, the whole show has more of a Dragon Ball feel to it because it's going more for that like adventure story as opposed to Z, which is more of like a superhero thing.
Like fighting type of thing. Because that one's more like, because the first thing you see is like the pterodactyls and stuff, which that's always from the first movie, like the first Dragon Ball series has all this like dinosaurs everywhere and everything.
Dinosaurs, and which Z does at the very beginning, and then it kind of fades away as the series progresses.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if they're something else.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they're going to kind of mimic a little bit of like Dragon Ball 1. You started like the boonies, and then you go into like the other areas. I wonder if they're going to
cities and stuff. Yeah. Well, they'll probably do that when they go to the second world.
Yeah.
Because I imagine where Kaioshin's from is probably more developed.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because it seems like Kaioshin's at least a little bit more of a scholar or something.
Yeah, his species is more like almost like a Confucian scholar class or something like that type of thing. Yeah, the series overall just seems really well thought out. Like they're doing a lot of lore stuff here. Some people are complaining about it being like retconning stuff or whatever, but it's like, I don't know. I think we're more like just getting more information than we had in the past.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's like really retconning anything. They're explaining it. They actually are explaining things. So it's not like it's not really they're not just like getting rid of stuff. They actually are explaining the reason why things are.
It feels like they're explaining things that were either under-explained or not explained at all in the past.
Like Namekians, it's like, why are there were demons at one point? Why aren't they there anymore?
Yeah,
because they didn't want to be ruled over, so they left.
They just left, and so Kaioshin, why is he in our realm? Like, all these people just left the demon realm.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was a much better place in the past, and then people just left.
Yeah. Probably whenever the demon, I'm assuming probably whenever this like light barrier got set up, is probably when everything kind of went downhill after
probably. That. Yeah, it's probably something with that.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else you want to say about episode 3?
Not really. I think it's a pretty decent episode. I guess if you're looking for lore type of information, this episode definitely is where it's at. But
yeah,
I guess it's been kind of building up on the other ones as well. So this is like lore and backstory.
Yeah, and then this one, it's a good mix of lore and some action too. So
yeah, the action's there. Finally, we get to see action, which.
Yeah,
I kind of like the slower pace sometimes in shows like this. Sometimes you want to go right into action, but
but I know a lot of the fans have been complaining that there's not enough action going on. So it's like, well, this had a decent amount, I think.
I mean, the fans were complaining about Super's soundtrack, so I don't know.
The fans, I
don't know if we can trust their judgment sometimes.
They complain about everything.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is true. It's like, I mean, if you're a Dragon Ball Z, this is definitely more like the original one. The Dragon Ball Z is more action based. So, I guess if you're a fan of like Z, it might definitely feel a little bit different. I can see Z and like Super kind of like they're kind of like the two on the same type of story beats and stuff.
Right, although the pacing in this is better than Z, to be honest. I mean, Z has very wonky pacing.
Yeah, Z's pacing is really strange. Because you go
like it's a classic, but it takes a long time for stuff to happen in that show.
Or like when the fight scenes take like 40 episodes to do 5 minutes. It's like, what's that? The Frieza thing they got.
Oh, yeah,
like
Frieza's 5 minutes.
15 episodes still fighting. It's like great. Which that's always like, that's, I guess, if you're not really a Dragon Ball fan, that's always been like kind of the complaint about that. But it's, I mean, that's where it comes from. It's from this show.
Right.
It's like that trope comes from this. So
right. Whereas, I don't think the pacing's bad at all for this, because we're in the Demon Realm already, and it's only been 3 episodes, so it's not like
And if this series only gonna be a 20 episode series,
right?
And I definitely have to keep it moving instead of being like, okay, we'll do the driving, getting your license episode, your driving episode. We'll do that one where Goku has to learn how to fly his spaceship.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be filler episodes in this.
No, it's probably going to be, which I guess Dragon Ball Z Kai kind of did that. They kind of took a lot of that filler stuff out. It's like, it seems like they've been trying to get rid of a lot of filler in their episodes.
Yeah, Kai's closer to the manga than what the anime has. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for episode 3 review. I think we both still would highly recommend this series.
Yeah.
So check it out, especially if you're a fan of Dragon Ball or just anime in general.
Yeah.
So if you like these videos,
Toriyama fan.
Right. Because it does kind of blend a lot of his properties, not just Dragon Ball. It's got a little bit of a feel of like a Chrono Trigger or a Dragon Quest or something going on now.
It definitely has that to it.
So if you like the videos, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more like this in the future, and you too could feel the strength welling within. See ya.